A triple fatality on a busy highway.
We're just trying to do our job here and get home safe at the end of every day.
3 construction workers killed when this box truck plows into the construction site on I-83 in York County.
When you hear that stuff, it really hits close to home.
Tonight, team coverage of the deadly crash that comes as the state observes National Work Zone Safety Week. CBS 21 News at 6 starts now. Thank you all for joining us tonight at 6 o'clock. I'm Jasmine Brooks. Joel D. Smith anchors our team coverage of this triple fatality in York County. He's along I-83 tonight. Joel D., good evening.
Good evening, Jasmine. Hi, everybody. Tough day here out in York County. We're going to be hearing from the mother of one of the victims, a 24-year-old who died out here just 2 hours before the end of his shift, working overnight. 2 of his co-workers also passed away. But right now, we want to get more into what happened in this situation and learn more about this victim. We're talking about Jesse McKenzie, a father of 2 young children who was engaged to be married. Jesse's mother tells us she wants her son to be remembered as a devoted family man. They're now facing this sudden tragedy and hoping for any help they can find with funeral costs because she says he did not have insurance. We'll have some more information about a GoFundMe in a bit. Coming up in minutes, we'll also hear from Jesse's mother, who we spoke to earlier today. As for now, I'm joined by Elise Person. She has been out here reporting all day on exactly what happened. Give us a feel for what happened a little bit earlier today.
Yeah, so we arrived here on the scene around 11:15, which is just about when I-83 behind me was reopening. The road was shut down for about 7 hours, and I want to show you exactly where the crash happened. Right down this way, right near exit 36 for Fishing Creek, is where 3 construction workers so tragically lost their lives. Emergency dispatchers were called to the scene around 3:50 this morning. Police say the 3 workers were pronounced dead on the scene after a 24-year-old crashed into a construction vehicle in an active work zone. The crash caused the box truck to hit the 3 workers on the shoulder of the road. The accident took place headed southbound between exit 36 for Fishing Creek and exit 35 for Lewisberry. They were working on a project for PennDOT. A statement from PennDOT says, quote, PennDOT is deeply saddened by the news of the workers who lost their lives in the work zone crash on Interstate 83 in York County. These workers left their homes fully expecting to return safely at the end of their shift. Our hearts go out to them, their families, and everyone impacted by this tragedy. And this all happened again just this morning. And so we're told that police, there's still so much information that needs to be told, but they don't know exactly what, or there's only so much more that they can share with us.
Sure.
So as we learn more information, we'll be sure to bring you the latest.
One of the things probably people are thinking about is that this happened overnight. It is harder to see people at night as well. Give us a feel for why they just have to be out here in a sense.
Absolutely. So these crews, they were here working on a PennDOT crack sealing project, which actually just began this past Monday. Their shift was from 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. And the reason for that, well, traffic. There's far less people on the roadways at night. And for that reason, that's why that was their shift.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Elise Person. Now, you mentioned this. We need to be as careful as we can be on the roads, right? Well, this is the particular week they really want us to focus on that as well. With that part of the story, we now head to Harrisburg. TJ Anthony, take it away.
Guys, this is a memorial for workers that have lost their lives in work zones. Now, it's important to note, these were brothers, these were sisters, these were friends, these were cousins, these were loved ones who lost their lives because they simply just went to work. And I had the chance to speak to some construction workers today, and they tell me they really just want people to slow down and pay attention so they too can make it home to their own families.
Family, and we all want to go home safe.
Construction workers put their lives on the line just by doing their jobs by or on busy roads, intersections, and highways. Unfortunately, 3 construction workers in York weren't able to make it home.
My heart goes out to them and their families. When you hear that stuff, it really hits close to home.
Nate Rukuski knows the dangers he faces just by going to work. All too well.
Traffic flowing through the work zones do tend to be at an elevated rate of speed.
Really not much protection for the workers from the traveling public.
Rukuski says he sees his fair share of distracted drivers.
I think everybody who's worked in this business long enough has had a close encounter. If you haven't had one, it's bound to happen eventually.
Everybody's always looking out for one another in the work zone, but there's only so much we can do.
Carlos Alicia works with AAA and says he experiences similar dangers from drivers as construction crews in work zones. When he's helping others on the side of roads, he especially tries to dodge the speeders.
Literally 95% of the time, the speed limit is always around 55, but you always get somebody going 75, 80, 85.
PennDOT reports last year there were nearly 1,220 work zone crashes. That resulted in 22 fatalities. Rokuski wants others to realize it takes nothing to slow down or put down the phone, especially when you see construction work zones. It might just save a life.
We're just trying to do our job here and get home safe at the end of every day.
And guys, remember, there's really just not too much space between work zones and where we drive our cars. So that's why it's another reason to just don't drive distracted and just slow down so we can keep our friends safe that are working on our roadways. Live in Harrisburg, TJ Anthony, CBS 21 News. Back to you.
Great message there, TJ. Thank you very much for that coverage. As for us, we're going to continue to stay on top of this, and in just a little bit later in the show, you were going to hear from the mother of one of the victims in this tragedy. So stick around for that. But for now, we will send it back to you, Jasmine.
Continuing our team coverage now tonight after 3 construction workers were killed on I-83 in York today. Let's go to Joel D. Smith.
That's right. That happened in the early morning hours here on I-83 in York County. Well, now the parent of one of those victims is opening up and talking more about this. Our sister station in Johnstown has more on this story. Let's hear from Bailey Wojcik right now. Bailey.
Earlier today, I spoke with the mother of 24-year-old Jesse McKenzie. She says she heard the news of her son's death from his fiancée this morning. Her son died from blunt force trauma. She says her family is overwhelmed with emotion, as well as the pressure of covering funeral costs. She says her son had no insurance. The family says they want McKenzie to be remembered as a devoted family member, fiancé, and father to 2 young children.
I don't even know what to say. I'm good for being a father of 2, loving father. And he was just a fun, loving guy. It got well with everybody.
Todd Albright says he was a construction worker at the scene when it happened. He also says he's known McKenzie for over 10 years.
All I know is when I turned around, the truck was on my shoulder coming towards the crew.
And did it all happen pretty quickly?
Yeah, 3 minutes.
The family says they're accepting any and all support at this time. Reporting, I'm Bailey Wojcik.
Thanks for watching the CBS 21 News YouTube page. For more top stories and breaking news, be sure to subscribe to this page and download our news app.